In your journey of learning data science, I'm pretty sure that you came across the IRIS dataset. Perhaps you have seen it in use in several of your tutorials, books that you read, blog posts that you read. Do you want to find an alternative dataset to IRIS? If you answered yes, then you want to watch this video to the end, as I'm going to show you how you can use an alternative dataset to IRIS. And so the dataset that I'm talking about is called the palmerpenguins. And the palmerpenguins is a dataset that is released on GitHub by Alison Horst. And the dataset is alternative to IRIS because it is quite simple. It contains a few data samples, a few rows, and it has only a few columns or a few features of the penguins. So let's have a look at more detail of this dataset. And the links to this dataset is provided in the video description down below. Okay, so let's scroll down and have a look. Okay, so this dataset is released under the package called palmerpenguins. And it is a dataset that is an alternative to the IRIS dataset. Because as we know, in our journey of learning data science, the IRIS dataset is infamously used. Or maybe it is overly used, and some of you might get a bit bored of this dataset. So for all of you out there who would like to try a new dataset to IRIS, or if you are an instructor, or if you are a YouTuber, and you want to use a toy dataset as an example, then consider using this penguin dataset. Okay, so this is the instruction for installing the palmerpenguins library into your R environment. So let me fire up my R Studio and let's have a look. So we want to install the remote library first. So let me open up my R Studio. So I'm going to install the remote library. So I just copy and paste it in. All right, so it's installed. And now I want to install the palmerpenguins. So I'm just going to copy this line of code. And so it's going to install directly from GitHub. Okay, so it's downloading the data from GitHub. And it's installing. All right, so it's finished installing. So now you want to import the library. So let's have a look. Library, palmerpenguins. So let me expand the window a bit. Okay, so let's see. Penguins. All right, so if you type in penguins, then you're going to see this table data frame that houses the data set. So you're going to see here that there are a total of 344 rows and 7 columns. And so you're going to notice that there are some missing values here. Okay, so now let's head back to have a look at the data set once more. Okay, so let's have a look at the data set. So I'm going to read this out for you guys. So the data was collected by Dr. Kristen Gorman and the Palmer Station Antarctica, LTER. Okay, so the data set here is released as a Creative Commons license. And so let's have a look. So you can see here that the CC0 license enables scientists, educators, artists, and other creators the right to use this data set in the public domain. And so we could build upon this data set without any restriction. And so it is a great opportunity to use this as an alternative to the IRIS data set. Let's head back. And so this is the detail on how you can cite the data set. For example, if you want to publish about this data set, then you could cite this original research articles. So it has it in the form of this plain text, or you could also copy this bibtext if you're working in LaTeX. Okay, so let's have a look further. Okay, so this section of the website is the example of the penguin dataset. So just a moment ago, I showed you how you could easily install the palmerpenguins library and how you could have access to that underlying data by typing in the penguins. Okay, and so this is the exact same thing, but just on the website. So here you just type in the library palmerpenguins, and then you could type in glimpse penguins, or you could just simply type in penguins in order to see the underlying content of this data set. Okay, so this is further detail on the contents of this data set. So let's head over back to the R Studio, and let's have a look at the further details of this data set. So you see here that there are 344 rows and 7 columns. Okay, I need to import tidyverse. Is it unique function? Penguins, $, species. Okay, so here we can see the unique values for the variable species. And so here you can see that there are a total of 3 species, Adelie, Gentoo, and Chinstrap. So if we compare this back to the IRIS dataset, then in IRIS dataset, we also have 3 species, Setosa, versicolor, and virginica. And now here we have 3 as well, Adelie, Gentoo, and Chinstrap. But aside from the species, we also have other qualitative variables as well, such as the name of the island and the sex of the penguin. So this is different from the IRIS dataset, which has only the species, that is the qualitative feature. And here we have 3 qualitative features, and we also have 4 quantitative features. And in IRIS dataset, we also had 4 quantitative features. And the 4 quantitative features of the IRIS dataset are the petal length, petal width, sepal length, and sepal width. So they are the dimensions measured by the ruler of the iris flowers. And here it is also similar in that 4 of the features are numerical, they are quantitative. And so 3 of them are measured lengths of the penguin's dimension. So we have the bill length, we have the bill depth, and we have the flipper length. And a slight difference here is the 4th quantitative feature is the body mass in grams. So this is not the dimension of the penguin, but it is the weight of the penguin, right? And the 3rd feature that is qualitative is the sex of the penguin. And so here we have male, female. And for island, let's have a look. Unique penguins, $, island. And so there are a total of 3 islands, Biscoe, Dream, and Torgersen. Okay, let's head over back. Okay, so if you're using the tidyverse, and you could use the count in order to have a look at the frequency of each classes here. So let's have a look. So let's have penguins, percent, greater than, percent, count, species, enter. Okay, so here are the frequencies of the 3 classes of penguins. So we can see that there are a total of 152 Adelie, 68 Chinstrap, and 124 Gentoo. So the slight difference here with the IRIS dataset is that in the IRIS dataset, all of the 3 classes has the same number, which is 50. So there are 50 versicolor, 50 virginica, and 50 setosa. But here there are 152 Adelie, 68 Chinstrap, and 124 Gentoo. So we can see here that the classes are imbalanced. And so this is a great opportunity actually that you could apply methods for balancing the data set, right? So it will be an additional advantage if we see it in the other way, that beginners and newcomers can also try algorithms, novel methods in order to balance the data set. So it could just be a simple oversampling or undersampling. And actually the sampling approach, it could be random or it could be based on some eigenvalue in order to make the distribution of the data samples more uniform and taking out random samples of the penguins at equal distance. So as you can see, even the balancing of the data set could also be a project on its own. So let's have a look further in the website. Okay, so here they say that there is a second data set, and the second data set is called Penguins Raw, and here it contains the original names of the data set. And so let's have a look actually. Penguins Raw. All right, so there are names here on the row, study name. Okay, so probably the sample number of the penguins. So there are 334 rows. Oh, no, there's 344 rows, 334 more rows in addition to the 10 rows that we see. And here we see a few. So let's try glimpse. Penguins Raw. And as previously mentioned, the dataset was derived from a research article published in PLOS One. So you might want to have a look at that original paper as well. So let me show you. You could just copy the name of the paper, go to Google, paste it in. Okay, so it is first authored by Kristen Gorman, and the paper is Ecological Sexual Dimorphism and Environmental Variability Within a Community of Antarctic Penguins, genus Pygoscelis. Okay, so it appears that the research here also tried to classify the sex of the penguins based on the input parameters. Let's have a look at the word classify. Okay, so here we see that they are trying to classify the penguin sex. So an interesting benefit of this data set is that unlike the iris data set, which has only the species that we could use in performing our classification, but for this penguin data set, we could also use other qualitative features in here as the basis for our classification. So aside from classifying the species of the penguin, and so here we could use the input parameters to classify the penguins according to their sex. Right? So this offers you a unique chance to pivot the data, try out new things. So the interesting thing here is that you could also try stratifying the data set. So you could stratify the penguins according to their island that they are in. And whether the island that they are in, would that have any influence on such as their height, such as the flipper length, the bill length or width? Maybe the location might have some difference in that. And so it's kind of interesting. And you have 3 qualitative features that you could potentially use for your stratification experiment. So as you can see, this brings you more depth of the possibility of what you could do with this penguin data set. So let's go back and have a look at the website further. Okay, so here they perform a simple scatter plot of the flipper length versus the body mass and colored it according to the 3 penguins. And the author of this library, Alison Horst, also drew this wonderful graphical image of the penguins. And so this is a description of the input features of this data set. And the comment here represents the beak. And the beak has 2 parts. There's the depth and the length. And so these 2 are the features in the data set. Okay, and so there you have it, a quick look at the palmerpenguins library where you could have access to the palmerpenguins dataset. Okay, and so if you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't yet done so, hit on the notification bell in order to be notified of the next video. And as always, the best way to learn data science is to do data science, and please enjoy the journey. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. But in the meantime, please check out these videos.